So here we go with game four. Is this game four? Yes, it is game four. It's Sunday morning. We've all had a very civilized, sensible evening. That's how old we're all getting. And it's bright and breezy-ish, or is it a 9:30 civilized start? There's some coffee. There's a full English breakfast has been had before this, no doubt. And we're off again for another round of the competition down in Beachhead. And here I'm playing the Adam, the legendary organizer of Beachhead. This is his legendary Dacian army that has on occasion swept all before it. And it's a very, very straightforward composition. You've got a load of warband foot, warband fast in DBM terms, medium swordsman impact in ADLG terms. There's 6 of them plus an extra one as a bit of a reserve to float down there. 6 is the maximum size that one general can move as a single group. You've got a couple of light horse, a couple of cavalry as outriders here as well. In this bit, you've got the elite two-handed swordsmen. These are the classic Dacian falxmen or phalanxmen, depending on how you want to pronounce it. They're the real, joking apart, cutting edge of the army. They want to be going into anything with a spear or a pike because two-handed cutting weapons win on ties against those things. Being elite, they're tough. But again, all of these are medium infantry. They're a bit vulnerable in the open. So clearly there's a lot of terrain here. There's a couple of either wooded or plantationed hills, and it looks like they've all fallen pretty much in my deployment area, which is pretty disastrous for the Dacians. That's the only piece of rough going that they've got on their side of the table to hide all these medium foot in. And then there's a Sarmatian ally here, 4 strike cavalry, impact, impetuous in fact, ready to come charging down at anything kind of squishy and engage the flank. And what have I done here? Kind of about the same as normal, really, slightly different to be fair. So this can't quite see which side the cavalry command is. It may be here, but I've got the elephant and Thracians here ready to go into that piece of terrain. Then I can line up here with cataphracts and pikemen and the armored spear. And the other side of it, because I'm sort of bisected by this hill, I can't really deploy much in this hill. I've got the infantry command, which we talked about with the Galatians, the imitation legionaries, the included general. That's just to sweep up this flank. So I suspect that means the cavalry are over here as well. So, but it's going to be difficult to go into here and deal with these guys, but they can have a good old go of it. 4, 5 things against 6. Not good. Well, not good numbers wise, but these things are all, the cataphracts are much, much better in the open. The pikemen, it's a bit of a wash. The spearmen probably don't want to be doing that. And we look a little bit outnumbered there unless the cavalry happen to be on this side. So let's have a look at that. I think we've just gone through it. Right, I've got something wrong there. Let's go back. So that's a couple of bowmen. They're not cavalry. Yeah, I should have looked a bit closer. So no, that's a bit more of a wash actually even against 1 light horse. There's 1 against 2. 6 chopper guys, 4 javelin and screen them. I think some of those are likely to be in the ambush, and the Sarmatian ally, which we talked about as well. So let's see how this is. Let's see the cataphracts. These are the guys. They're going to be the stars. They're really fearless against this lot. The light infantry are not going to do any damage to them shooting. These guys absolutely fear them. They will just go straight through them. The pikemen on this edge, we're sort of tempting them to come out a little bit wider, and then we've still got a bit of a fight to go through in the middle. So let's have a look what's happening over here. Yep, there is my cavalry command, teeny tiny as it is. So I've sent 2 pikemen with a Roman argiaspid in the middle of it, straight over to try and counter these guys, supported by the cavalry. That gives me a width of 4 plus 2 as extras. The javelinmen are lurking there as well. The Sarmatians really don't want to charge the pikemen. Charging into formed pikemen is pretty catastrophic. These guys, it's pretty good to charge against them. They're not a bad target, but in between the pikemen, that's bad. And this guy, they're a bit better than him, but he's got overlaps. So we're just really trying to neutralize them out the game and then move up with the remaining block, the Galatians and the Roman argiaspids, to just give these guys a tricky target, keep them busy, see if they want to tempt them. And this little javelinman here can either pop out as an overlap, or if these guys come too unwisely forward, he can come back and harass them. So I have split this command. That's kind of unusual for it, but there's some interesting challenges in this Dacian army to face. So ta-da, there's the ambush. No great surprise, but it does keep my troops further back. So over here, what's happened? The and the elite axemen have all turned, and they've gone to try and face off, join up with the Sarmatians, because nothing in my army really is going to be occupying this terrain in any meaningful way. The battle's going to be kind of decided. They want to take on the pikemen and the Roman argiaspids supported by the Sarmatians. So that's left a pretty straight battle here. Means that the elephant doesn't need to go into the rough terrain. I'm sending one Thracian off there just to chase people, but it's allowed me to come up with a group of 6. Elephant, that's better than these guys. Thracian, probably it's a bit of a wash. These two much better than those two guys. These two, bit of a wash. And we'll see what happens over here with the cavalry. The bowmen are kind of bugging out. They probably want to come back in here and join in and start trying to shoot the elephant. And there's a bit of a disparity in Lightfoot here on the shooting, but I've got my best armoured, best quality troops in the middle to soak that up. So what's happening here, you can see the phalanx men are kind of marching in column, and they're going to march and turn again, and that is going to put them into the pikemen. The Sarmatians have done exactly the same, so suddenly they're looking to overwhelm my 2 light horse on this flank, and this is really about the Dacians trying to find the targets they want, whereas their light infantry are just harassing my other block of foot who desperately need to catch up here. Can my javelin chase them off? Let's see how that works. So yep, another move across, another turn. Being non-impetuous makes this lot actually very, very maneuverable, and the Sarmatians have dripped out of or flipped out of column as well, and are now coming forward. So there's a huge amount of pressure on something that's just not ready or geared up towards standing up to that thresher. And it's really going to be, can I reform this line quickly enough before these guys all pile in and make the charge? But here, same thing looks like that's happened in the previous game. The cataphracts have charged forward. They've gone further than anyone else can catch up. They may have rolled long. They may actually, by the looks of it, have caught some of the evading Lightfoot and evaporated them, which makes this really rather catastrophic for the Dacians, because the Dacians had turned and were attempting to fall back, but their light infantry, let's flip back a couple of turns and see what that was. So these light infantry, the cataphracts have charged them. So yeah, let's start again. So the Dacians turn around and start moving back. They want to delay fighting until this thing starts happening. They really want to be fighting here somewhere, get the bowmen into this position. But what's happened is, when these light infantry evaded, the cataphracts have rolled long and they've ended up catching them in the rear. And when that happens, the light infantry are instantly destroyed, but the cataphracts are going to be able to follow up, which will put them into contact with the rear of the Dacians. That's an absolute unmitigated catastrophe for the Dacians. They were going to struggle anyway against the cataphracts, but now they're just going to be very badly punished. So you can see here, this is the battle the Dacians want to start as soon as possible. The cataphracts rush forward, force all my cavalry to fall back. The rest of them are closing up on my line. I haven't got these guys ready yet. They're not really joined up at all. These are just in potential to come sweeping into the flank. I'm going to have to send him back and sacrifice him somehow. This is, I've got no answer to this at all, and it's just going to be a straight up fight. So this is really a big Dacian overload, but there is a catastrophe on the other flank. So what's happening here? Maybe we've not followed up, actually. Maybe that follow-up was something else. But the Dacians have managed to turn around. They've flipped around before I managed to hit them. The bowman has come back into play. They're trying to do some shooting on the elephant, desperate to get some hit points on him. This massive number of 4 is a massive number of light infantry. I can't really do a lot about that. And I'm having to try and do an awful lot with this command with only one. He's a brilliant general, but there's a lot of stuff to move, a lot of stuff to keep him in play here. And they're just preparing to take it because the hit is coming for sure. And here we go. Bang. This is the hit. This is the hit going on. It looks like the elephant's gone in. The Thracians have gone in. The cataphracts have gone in. One of the cataphracts has gone straight through. The other one, can't see the markers behind it. Maybe that's a red one. I'm not sure. Could well be a red marker. The other cataphract's doing some damage. The Thracian's taken a pasting. The elephant has evaporated the people in front of him. It's like boom. These are very brittle win or lose or die troops, and it looks like on balance that's a great result for me, because there's a death, there's probably some injuries, there's another death, and I've taken 2 hits over there, but I've now got an overlap and it's going to suck more people into this combat. So what's happened here? We've managed to just in time reform the line before these guys come in. looks like the Gallic cavalry has been forced to stand and hold off some of the cataphracts and just try and stop them getting to the flank of the pikes, and the Dacians are now ready to charge in. They're really again at nostril sort of sniffing distances, but I think looks like I'm maybe not initiated, maybe I've initiated combat, but I can't shift into a line because of all these guys. So but these combats are fighting all the way along here, and there's only one hit on mine that's happened from shooting beforehand. So let's see how this battle all pans out. Well, on the other side, it's panning out dramatically for the Seleucids. So another death in front of the cataphracts. Pikemen have just piled forward. Cataphracts have sort of slid across and taken on somebody else. I'm getting the cataphracts into as many opponents as possible, and the pikeman cataphract combination is just absolutely grinding the Dacians down, very, very close to their back edge. There's not a lot they can do about it once they get in combat. They need to win in the first turn, and with no markers on my infantry apart from these guys, clearly they didn't, and it's just all going very, very quickly, very wrong for them. So over here, what's been happening as well, looks like this first round of combat has again been remarkably fortunate for the Seleucids. The pikemen, the Roman argiaspids, they've all won. There's a couple of hits here on all of these guys, a couple of these shield markers. The Galatians look like they've done a bit of a wash. One of them's actually taken some hits and lost, and here this is a bit of a wash as well, with my already injured argiaspids doing an injury on the Dacians. So the three bad hits here, but it's still all fighting in this way. But 3 bad hits is tricky, and this combat looks like it started, and I've just had to stand. I really have got to stop cataphracts getting into the flank of these before I kill some of them off. And so my elite cavalryman there has stood, and there's some injuries being taken by both sides. So over on this side, just too many of these Dacian javelinmen for me to deal with. One of them's come rushing out the rough terrain, got into the rear of my elephant. That's bad news. Allows the bowmen to start doing stuff as well. But look at that, the Thracian has dug something out from that initial reverse to try and turn the tables on those pseudo-Gallic normal warband kind of foot. So there's lots and lots of casualties racking up on the Dacian side by now. And here, look at the last parts of that whole line of 7 infantry. There's only 2 of the guys left. The cataphracts crushing this guy underfoot. The pikemen just driving forwards. Once they get to the end, they're able to be changed for a Panzer IV. It's a chess-like move. Not quite, but these guys are the only ones left. They must be quaking in their slightly, I don't whatever it is, Romanian-made leather shoes by now, because there's very, very little hope for them left. And over here, you can see a real battle of 2 parts. The Dacians have gone straight through at this end against the Galatians and the Roman argiaspids, but that pike and argiaspid combination that did so well in the first round has just finished that off by taking out 3 of the guys there as well. So, and this fight in the middle is still ongoing, and it looks like my cavalryman's gone. He's been killed off, but it has kept these guys busy. Nobody's in the flank of these guys just yet, but they will be pretty soon unless the battle kind of comes to a close. And actually, the battle does come to a kind of close. That is the end of it. The Dacian army has just taken too much punishment, with its left flank being completely crushed by the cataphract elephant combination, and its elite guys not really doing enough of the business, and the Gallic cavalrymen just about holding off the Sarmatians for long enough for the game to come to an end with a victory for the Seleucids. Hello and welcome to the latest Madaxeman.com Army List ADLG podcast, in which I'm joined by Rick.